When I think of yandere girls from anime, I think of three. I think they're the three main ones, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. I think of yanderes. I think those are pretty self-explanatory at that point. This point, they're fucking everywhere. I'm not even gonna explain them. Then there's Gulderes, I think that's how you pronounce it. They're usually not that emotional, but when they're with people they like, love, or enjoy spending time with, then they open up. And then there's the final type, the type I'm talking about today, and that is yanderes. Are very obsessive and sometimes very violent, usually towards one specific person in which they want. And I will tell you why they are the best. The other two are okay, but these are the clear winner. This is the clear winner. Now, yanderes. Where do I begin? Yanderes, in most of the media I've seen, have one person they love, and they love them with all their heart and are willing to do anything for them. It's an obsessive love, and maybe an unhealthy one, but love nonetheless. Now, keep in mind, I'm not keeping this very realistic. Like, it'll sometimes be realistic, sometimes not. I don't really have enough subs to care, so just go with it. Anyways, let's talk one. Their obsessive personality. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my greatest fear is getting cheated on. I think that's a lot of people's fears. Especially because I've never dated anybody, and I don't think I'd be a very good partner. That's a story for another day. Can of worms I'd rather not open. Anyways, still, having the emotional security to know that they'll never cheat on you and would probably rather die than do so is nice to have. Not having to worry about any of that, it's just nice. Second part, the obsessive part. Personally, as long as it's not to the point of you can't even talk to your own mom, I don't mind. Like, realistically, that'd probably be a recipe for disaster. But in my own fantasy world, I'm thinking, hell yeah, I already have you. I don't really need anybody else. It's probably not a good way of thinking of things, but I'm desperate. Anyways, their loyalty. That's number 3. They are loyal to a fault. They won't betray you, and in Fantasyland, they'll do everything you ask, to the point of killing for you. Which, also knowing that somebody is devoted enough to kill for you is also nice. It's also a nice reassurance that they actually love you in Fantasyland. I don't think so in real life at all. Pretty sure all three daddy types would be terrible partners for multiple reasons in real life. But I can dream. Now, there are a couple of drawbacks. Actually, only really one. That is also their obsessiveness. Now, for some, might not be as bad. It might just be, oh, you looked at another girl, don't. And then they kind of force you to look at them instead. That's on the tamer side. On the higher end, they'll never have any woman at all in your life get close to you. Which, on the higher end of that, also includes your own mom, or sisters, or siblings, or cousins, or any family member. Then you have the fuck zone. Not the fuck zone, as in I get to fuck, but the fuck zone, as in you're fucked. In this zone is mostly two things. People who are extremely possessive. Now, if you're already in a relationship, well, somebody like that, somebody like a yandere is into you, that could prove to be a problem for them. Because unless you're a fucking heart protagonist, we live in a pretty monogamous world, as in one partner, you can't have three. Usually, maybe, but you're gonna be seen as pretty fucking weird. Still, they might take up the line of, you gotta take up the competition. One way or the other. On the tamer end, she tries to drop, if there's anybody, hey girls watch me, I doubt that. I'm a fucking fat cunt of a high schooler talking about anime and games, so I doubt there's a single viewer here who is a girl. Especially since I have like 5 subs. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. The lower end, she'll just try and maybe even successfully drive a wedge between you two so she can take her spot. On the higher end, if you two are actually devoted, she'll just fucking kill her, which isn't good. And she might also try to kill you because, along the lines of, if I can't have you, nobody can, which is not good for you. Then you have the other one. The other one is so far into the deep end, they appear normal. No. If it scale from crazy, there was a skill that wrapped around the earth based on crazy, they would go so far, they would nearly reach normal levels of sanity on the other side. But then you have the girls think, hey, I want to be with this person 24/7, forever. What's the best way I can do that? I know. I can kidnap him. That doesn't sound that bad, considering I'm talking about how insane they are. But that's on the tamer side. The very deep end is if I eat him or her, she'll be with me forever. That's the deep end, in which you're fucked. And the fact that they're so extremely devoted, unless you straight up kill them, you'll probably never get rid of them until they physically cannot do anything to try and get to you. Anyways, this has been my video on the pros and cons of yanderes. If any of you are skipping to the end because this is a longer than 10-minute video with no visual stimuli whatsoever, then basically I sum it up to they're devoted. You don't have to worry about getting cheated on, but you might die, you might get kidnapped, they might isolate you from everybody you know so that they can be to yourself, or they might fucking eat you. If you really want to know how the fuck I got there, then watch the full video, asshole. To anybody who actually watched the whole thing, thanks. Even if you treated it more like a podcast, since there's nothing to see except a black screen, because I'm doing this like 12 o'clock midnight where I live. Thanks. This is probably gonna get like 10 views max, and I'm pretty sure the 2 people subbed aren't even gonna see this. But to anybody that does, thanks for actually listening. I don't know where I'm gonna take this channel. If it's just gonna be more stuff like this, I just have thoughts popping into my head and then I just talk. Well, there's a black void on the monitor you're looking at on. Who knows? I wanted to make this about gaming, but I guess not. Maybe? Who knows? I don't sure as hell know. Anyways, that's really it. Bye.